Okay, today we're going to be learning about slicing three-dimensional figures. You have learned in previous grades what a three-dimensional figure is and what types, the types of three-dimensional figures. So we're going to learn about slicing them today. The vocabulary that you need to know is that a cross-section is the two-dimensional, the 2D shape that results from cutting a three-dimensional with a plane that is supposed to have an E. In this lesson, you will identify the face shape from cuts made parallel and perpendicular to the bases of right-dimensional figures, rectangular prisms, and pyramids. You will also be identifying the face shape from cuts made diagonally or at an angle. This is what you need to know. Any shape, the cuts that are made parallel would take the shape of the base. So if it's made parallel to the base, it's going to take the shape of the base. Cuts made perpendicular up and down will take the shape of the lateral face, the front face. Also, cuts made at an angle through the right rectangular prism or the pyramid will produce a parallelogram. If you know these three things, you may not even have to visualize it. You can just know what the cross-section would look like. Okay, example number 1. If a pyramid is cut with a plane parallel to the base. So if it's standing straight up, think about cutting it like in half horizontally. The intersection of the pyramid and the plane is a blank cross-section. So what you're doing is you're like kind of just cutting it from left to right. If you cut a pyramid from left to right, what would the cross-section look like? And I'm going to give you a visual. That blue plane is where our cross-section will be. And if you see like the pinkish, purplish, reddish in the middle, that's the cross-section. What is it going to look like? And you see it kind of looks, now from your view, it kind of looks like a parallelogram. But you're thinking of what is going to actually look like when you take it out. And it's going to be the square. If you think of the pyramid, the base is a square. So remember, if you cut it parallel to the base, it's going to take the shape of the base. So if we look at it from this way, same cut, you can see the square cross-section. It takes the shape of the base. If the pyramid is cut, example 2, if the pyramid is cut with a plane passing through the top vertex and perpendicular to the base, so you're going up and down, the intersection of the pyramid and the plane is a blank cross-section. So let's think of a pyramid. Remember, if you're cutting with a plane perpendicular, it is going to take the shape of the lateral face. So what does the front face of a pyramid look like? It looks like a triangle. So if we were to cut this from top to bottom, perpendicular to the base, as you notice inside, that cross-section right here is going to be a triangle. If we were to cut it in half, open it up, and look at it, it would be a triangle. Example number 3. If the right rectangular prism is cut with a plane passing diagonally through the top edge to the opposite bottom edge, so we're going at an angle through the right rectangular prism, the intersection of the right rectangular prism and the plane is a blank cross-section. So if we cut it in half, what is that cross-section going to look like? Let's look. Here's our rectangular prism, kind of sort of like a cube, which can be a rectangular prism. And you're going from the top edge to the opposite bottom edge. And what shape does that make? Well, in this case, it kind of looks like a rectangle, which can also be considered a parallelogram. Okay, try this. If a cylinder is cut with a plane parallel to the base, the intersection of the cylinder and the plane is a blank cross-section. What is it going to look like if you cut a cylinder parallel to the base? What is that cross section going to look like?